Hello Comicsgate, Rorschach here. So Gail Simone, cat lady goddess of Twitter, is a bit worried. She fears that there's an exodus happening right now in the comic book industry, and the exodus is away from the progressive plantation of DC, Marvel and the Antifa Indies, and to the more free market based approach of Indiegogo. This is all about Ethan Van Sciver, diversity in comics, John Malin, the Bright Risers, Chuck Dixon, and others I'm sure that I'm not quite remembering right now, who are starting to recognise that if you want to make some serious dollar today and have a comic book pro, then what you need to do is to get away from that stale old progressive plantation, which is the mainstream comic book industry, and start doing your own thing on Indiegogo instead. So this is Gail Simone then, wailing against the inevitability of the free market, in that the free market has rejected what she's got to offer with Plastic Man, not a very good book at all, and instead is more interested in Ethan Van Sciver's Cyberfrog. She's not very pleased about this, and she's going to basically bitch and complain about it really, and I guess hope that people feel sorry for her and that she can claim enough victimhood status to convince people to stay on the progressive plantation of DC. It's not going to work. The free market always wins out in the end. So I'm not going to read out this statement here, because it's just more of the same stuff. She's talking about the beginning of Comicsgate here, the milkshake thing, and she's talking about women being harassed endlessly on the internet. I don't know, maybe they haven't learned how to block people like everybody else on the internet today. And then she's talking about pros leaving. She's talking about one of the pros. I think she's talking about one of the pros, saying that he's against LGBTQ rights in a DM that was sent to her. I'd love to see the evidence for this, Gail. It'd be very interesting indeed. And if you don't want to reveal the identity of the person who was against LGBTQ, just black it out. You don't have to dox the person. You don't have to reveal who he was, but the actual message itself would be very, very interesting, because mainly I've been doing this Comicsgate thing for a few years now, a couple of years now, and I've never heard anybody in the Comicsgate movement is actually against LGBTQ rights. It's not really a thing, you know. We want equal rights for everyone. Actually, we want what you've got right now. So yeah, if you've got this damaging evidence of discrimination against LGBTQ people coming from somebody in Comicsgate, and don't talk about it, just show us the evidence. It's not going to happen, is it? No evidence is coming. We've got to take her word on this one. And because she's asking us to take her word on this, I'm starting to believe that it didn't actually happen. Or she's misrepresenting a conversation. And then she ends this with, I asked him to go away a million times. You don't have to ask people to go away on the internet. You can block them immediately. So yeah, I'm starting to feel that perhaps she's not being perfectly honest with what was going on there. Now she's talking about, as the statement continues, two comic book pros, I guess, who she used to admire, who are now getting away from the plantation and starting to go on Indiegogo. But she doesn't mention Indiegogo. She doesn't mention who these people are. It's all kept very vague, and it's all about her feelings, saying that she loved these people, she admired them, they were heroes to her, and they've gone over to the other side and she's very upset. She feels betrayed. Oh, sorry, Gail, but that's the free market doing what the free market does. If people are not getting what they want from the mainstream, they're going to look for alternatives, and the alternative at the moment is very good news for the comic book pros, because it financially rewards them in a manner that you don't get apparently from the mainstream DC and Marvel plantations today. So people just want to make the dollar to feed themselves and feed their families. What's wrong with that? I don't see any problem with it. I don't see any problem with it at all. If the money is to be made on Indiegogo today, then the exodus is going to continue. People are going to start to leave DC, they're going to start to leave Marvel, and they're going to start looking to Indiegogo as a way where they can be financially compensated in a manner which they're not getting from the big two plantation publishers today. So Gail, if you perhaps think this is unfair, you don't like it, you're very upset with what's going on in regards to the comic book industry today, what you need to do, my lovely, my cat lady lovely, is go on Indiegogo yourself and see if the market supports what you have to offer. You've got a lot of Twitter followers. Is it 100,000, something like that? I'm sure you'll be able to easily make as much as Ethan Van Sciver or Diversity Comics makes on Indiegogo. Don't you think so? I think so, Gail. I think that the market will support you. Or perhaps you're starting to doubt yourself, Gail. Perhaps you're starting to listen to some of the criticism, some of the reviews of your latest work, including Plastic Man, and are starting to think that perhaps the Comicsgate people were right all along, and that all I really have going for me is my gender and my ability to claim victimhood status, because my writing itself, and looking at this this post as an example of your writing, is just not quite up to standard. It hasn't got the quality that perhaps the free market is looking for. So that's my opinion on the latest situation involving Comicsgate, Gail Simone, and the exodus which is happening as the pros are starting to realise that there's money to be made, real money, big time money to be made, and it's on Indiegogo. It's not on the old decaying progressive plantation of DC, Marvel and the Antifa indies. Before then I close, round up, end the video, I just want to say, please do not contact Ms. Simone on Twitter or on Facebook. No DMs, no ats to Gail Simone. Don't give her that victimhood that is the fuel to her fire. Because without victimhood, without claiming that she's been targeted and harassed, what does she have to fall back upon other than her pretty weak comic books that she's producing for DC right now? So yeah, let the free market do what the free market does. Please don't give her the victimhood fuel that she requires. And that's all I've got to say for the time being. So cheers. Thanks for watching. The Exodus is on. Later, guys.